Hey everyone, how are you doing today? We're here to examine which states have the top marginal tax rates. While taxes are very useful, many residents are just looking to find a place that taxes residents a fair amount. Well, you may want to avoid some of these states if you're looking to save your hard-earned money. Arizona. Typically thought of as one of the states with a lower tax burden, Arizona may be a bit of a surprise to be on this list. In the 2020 election, Arizonans voted to increase their top marginal tax rate from 4.5% to 8%. This kicks in once you start making $250,000 individually or $500,000 for joint filers. For residents who just left California to see a tax decrease, this one's got to feel like a swift kick in the pants. But if you aren't a six-figure earner, Arizona is still one of the lower tax states in the US. Iowa. Iowa is the only place on this list that voted conservatively in the 2020 presidential election, and it surprises me that they're on this list. Their top tax rate of 8.53% is good enough for the 9th spot on this list. And here's the deal. You basically have to pay this tax rate for any income earned over $75,000. They have 9 tax brackets, and they actually tax lower incomes at a pretty significant rate here. As far as their income taxes go, this isn't the worst state on the list, but there are a lot of places in the country with lower taxes. Vermont. Vermonters are fortunate to live in one of the most beautiful states in all of America. One thing that ain't pretty though is their top marginal tax bills. In this state, top earners pay 8.75%, but if you earn around median or lower wages, they actually don't get you too bad here. At least in Vermont, they have great schools, and you can shop in New Hampshire and pay no sales tax. New York. Now, everyone knew this state would be on the list. New Yorkers pay a top marginal income tax of 8.82%. This only applies to 7-figure earners though. So, this state isn't exorbitantly high then, right? Well, it depends. Since about half the state lives in NYC, it's fair to note that in New York City, they add at least an additional 3% to whatever you earn. So, if you live in NYC, your income tax tier would actually be high enough to be the second highest state on this list. When the economy is open, many can earn really high sums here. So, do the math to see if it's worth it for you. Washington, D.C. Now, Washington is a place with some of the highest paying jobs in all of America. The U.S. Capitol offers one of the absolute lowest property tax rates in all of the country too. But the government still gets you. They just tax your income. DC's highest marginal tax rate is just under 9%. And really, the district can be a difficult place to start out your life. If you want to live here or be involved with politics, charities, or causes you believe in, DC is not a cheap place to earn a living. The bottom line is here in DC, just remember, you're going to fall somewhere between 4 to 8.5% for the majority of earners. Minnesota. Minnesota is known as a state that has some of the friendliest residents in all of the country. Now, their government, on the other hand, is really aggressive with how they tax income here. Their top marginal tax rate is now at 9.85%, and this applies to single and married filers making well into 6 figures. The thing is here, their lowest tax rate is still over 5%, so they are going to fund a good majority of their revenue from income taxes. Oregon. Okay, I'm just kidding. I know it's pronounced Oregon, but as a Washingtonian, I gotta get a rise out of Oregonians sometimes. Now, while my joke wasn't funny, Oregonian tax bills are no laughing matter either. Oregon has a top marginal tax rate just under 10%. And really, if you're a below average earner, Oregon may be the harshest state in all of America. They tax you at 8.75% for any income over $9,000 for singles and $18,000 for joint filers. The natural beauty in the state is unreal, but don't move here if you think you're going to save from taxes just because they don't charge sales tax. New Jersey. Now, the Garden State is one of the most harsh states when it comes to top marginal tax rates, but they are quite affordable for any low-wage earners. The top marginal tax rate in Jersey is 10.75%. Now, the reason I don't find this to be as bad as places like Oregon is they don't start taxing at this rate until over $5 million of earnings is achieved. In fact, New Jersey taxes individuals less who make just under $500,000 than Oregon taxes for anyone making as little as $10,000. Jersey is middle of the pack for low or median earners, so most people are probably going to be just fine here in Jersey. Hawaii. Now, this is one of the most desirable states in all of America. Not only is it the state with the second highest top marginal tax rate, but it's the most expensive state to purchase a home. The top rate here in Hawaii is 11%, and for single filers, it kicks in at $200,000, and for joint filers at $400,000. They have over 10 tax brackets in the state, so there is a pretty wide variance in the tax rates, but this is not a great state to save on income taxes for earners at any level. California. You probably aren't surprised that California is topping a list having to do with high taxes. People have been leaving California like mad and making locals miserable in many other places throughout the country. California doesn't gouge low earners too much. However, the median earners fork over about 8% of their income to taxes. But that isn't the worst here. The top marginal tax rate only targets individuals with seven-figure incomes, but they levy income taxes at a rate of 13.3%. There are a lot of earners moving to Nevada, Texas, Florida, Washington, and other low-tax states looking to avoid a state that comes after so much of their income. If you want to know where you can save on your taxes, click on the playlist now. See you next time, and take care.